Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are in the right place at the right time. Today is Wednesday and it is noon and it's time for the noon report. And I am your host, Dr. Ron, and I'm here to carry you through an educational process on today. So hold on to your seat. It's going to be moving kind of fast. Now, the first thing I want to do before I get started is on every broadcast that I do, I give a shout out to my mentor. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of that 30 plus years, he has been a blessing to both me and my family. And one of the reasons why I talk about him so much is because I want you to understand the value of having a mentor. If you have someone that is in your life that can help you during the times of your life where it's most difficult, then you understand the importance of having a mentor. So get a mentor, be a blessing to them, and then get a show and you can shout your mentor out. Okay. So now let's get started on today. I thought it was important for me to take people to a grade school level civics class. Okay. We have a very dysfunctional three branches of the United States government. Well, you say, well, what are the three branches of the United States government? Because they stopped teaching civics in high school and grade school long time ago. But I feel like I just need to do a refresher course for those that do know, and then a course for those that don't know. There are three branches of the government. They're called the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. Now, um, out of these three branches, it's very difficult for me to find a branch that's functioning properly the way that it was designed to function by the founding fathers. Now, the founding fathers put this together back in 1787. And since then, it has been perverted, distorted, and corrupted. Let me give you an example. On the legislative branch, they call that the Congress. The legislative branch makes the laws of the United States, controls all the money, and has the power to declare war. Well, when 2023 legislators get in office, they have a personal agenda. They want to make money off of lobbyists that offer them large sums of money, especially the gun lobbyists, because they pay the best. Because the lobbyists have agendas for their clients and their clientele. So the legislators in it are being entertained and swayed and corrupted, as you might say, to see their viewpoint on a very large scale. Now, what do I mean by that? The people of the United States have an issue, the people, with gun control. There are assault weapons on the streets that are killing children, teachers, and innocent people. And the legislators of our United States don't want to change that. There are legislators that are against many issues that the people are not for. The people on one side, the legislators on the other, and neither the two shall mix. So the legislators are supposed to create laws and enforce the will of the people, not the lobbyists. They got it twisted. They don't understand why they're in office. They're supposed to serve the will of the people. And they're far from that now. They're so far apart. Legislators are being voted out of state offices because they spoke up and protested freedom of speech about guns. And the supermajority of Republicans said, "Oh no, we can't have this boy in office doing this. You're fired." You know, like like they thought they were on The Apprentice with Donald Trump. You know, like you're fired. Now, in the midst of our legislative body, we have two separate parties, sometimes three. We have independents, we got Republicans, and we got Democrats. Now, they're so far apart on what's the best for the will of the people that if a Democrat suggests it, the Republicans are automatically against it. So there's no togetherness. We can't build, we cannot unite a people and be a strong nation when our legislators are not for the people and they don't have the best interests of the people at heart. The legislative body is so corrupt that half of them supported a insurrection on January 6th, and it's going to come out because it's under investigation. But they do not believe that they should be not in control and running things. Okay. Aside from what the people voted who they wanted in, but yet they feel like they can take control and gangster. They trying to do thugism right now. So that's our legislative branch. So now our executive branch. Our executive branch is the president and the vice president. The executive branch enforces the laws of the United States, spends money as allowed by Congress, declares states of emergency, appoints judges and Supreme Court to the Supreme Court, and grants pardons for criminals. Now that is a very small scenario of what the executive branch, the president and vice president, do. If the vice president has to take office when the president is not available, that's what happens. That's what her role is. But the president generally understands a finger on the pulse of the people. In this particular case, he happens to be a Democrat. So anything that the will of the president is trying to do for the people, the legislative branch, the let me say this correctly, the Republican side of the legislative branch is not in agreement to. So it's a conflict. Once again, they're on the left, he's on the right, and they cannot meet in the middle in order to be able to do the will of the people. So now you understand why I'm saying this thing is broken, it's corrupt. Now, I'm not finished quite yet with this educational process. I want to talk about the judicial branch of government, the Supreme Court. The judicial branch interprets laws, judges when a law is unconstitutional, and makes arrangements for prisoners. Now, I don't know where you see in that definition, it's a very simplistic definition, that they say they act like a political party. Well, let me talk about that for a second. We have at least one member of the Supreme Court who favors the party that has got him appointed as a Supreme Court justice. And he's also being entertained by lobbyists. He gets on lavish planes, boats, luxury trips to private islands, all of these things that a lobbyist would do for a member of Congress. Also, this Supreme Court justice has a wife who is very outspoken, who has an organization who has been receiving funds from this particular lobbyist. Now, let me talk about this lobbyist for a second. His views and opinions are not that of a great many of people, but I take that back. There are a great many of people that share the same views and opinions that he has. He has a shrine devoted directly to all dictators and all Nazis, all people that promote racial injustice. And this is the mindset of a lobbyist that is sending money and sending lavish trips to your Supreme Court justice and to his wife. So now he has imparted so much of himself into them, they're going to see things the way he wants them to see it. So it affects his fair and impartial. A judge is supposed to interpret fair and impartial. So it's impossible if a person is sending you around the world on his private jet for you not to feel like, well, I got to support what his views and opinions are. Now, Clarence Thomas is a man of color, but his views and opinions are that of a racist organization. So that you see the conflict there. So we have a very dysfunctional government. All three branches are not doing what they're designed to do and designed to operate for the will of the people. Now, I felt like this lesson was important to have because we need to know where we are. We need to understand what's going on in our United States of America. And I say our because I feel a part of it sometimes. But I look at so many things that are so dysfunctional and so broken, we'll never be able to be the nation that our founding fathers felt like we could be. Now, granted, in 1787, when the founding fathers put this together, Black people were not considered to be human. But I think we've evolved a little bit, just a little bit, you know, and there's a great many people that feel like we like Black people. We want them to be around. So there are those that don't like Black people. They don't want us around. And they're trying to sway us into a black and white issue and a race war that they're pushing for. Now, I hope that that's not everybody. I hope the majority will rule in this situation. But I made a comment on my From the Desk of Dr.Ron show last week that it's a civil war coming, and depending on what side of this war that you're on, it's going to be dangerous no matter what side you line up on. And I encourage people to take a look at what's going on around them, to be aware of what's going on, because our government is broken. And our government is allowing people to have freedom of speech to incite a riot. On January 6th, people were following the leadership of the former president, Donald Trump, and stormed the Capitol. They thought that they could stop the process of installing the newly elected president, which was a customary thing that they do. The vice president was in there conducting his duties as the vice president of the United States, and then they were talking about lynching and killing him. And now he's undecided whether or not he's going to testify to a grand jury that is in place investigating all those involved with this event. Okay. Now, I'm just going to say it from a personal standpoint. If I was in there doing my job and people were trying to hang me, lynch me, kill me, destroy me, I would not try to defend those people by not testifying against them. I would let it be known from the highest point in the Supreme Court, yes, this is what happened. This is what I know. This is what I saw. I would be on the highest point of the Supreme Court, letting them know, let them hear my voice to try and justify what did happen and who should be held accountable. Okay. So, he's a little confused. He still got loyalties to the mega, whatever they call themselves, the organization that helps promote disarray and promote chaos, because that's what we have, chaos. And I would hope at some point in time that the three branches of government that I talked about on today, would understand what their job is and get back to doing their job. Okay. You know, just because you're a independent don't mean that you can't get along with somebody. Just because you're a Republican don't mean you can't get along with somebody other than a Republican. Just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean that you cannot get along. They need to get along. The people depend on them. The people need them. This is trickled down into state governments. State governments are all lined up on one side and causing conflict. We've got um, judicial branches, judges trying to act like legislators. They're not legislators. They're not part of a political party. It's supposed to be neutral. And when you have legislators that doesn't or don't do their homework to understand what the people want, not what the party wants. You know, the beginning verse of the Constitution, and I talked about this on another show, is we, the people, not we, the Democrats, not we, the Republicans, not we, the judicial, not we, the independents. It's not just we, that branch. We are very much a part of this process. You know, we are very much a part of what's going on. Al Greer, shout out to my brother all the way in Chicago. Good afternoon. Mr. Lee Michaels is not here today. He's out on assignment. He has been busy these last couple of weeks, but you know, we always keep him close and in our heart. Thank you, my brother Al Greer. Another brother in broadcasting that follows and keeps up with what's going on over here on Street News Now. So that's my rant for today. I just want to encourage people to understand that we, the people, you know, it's not about just what Trump wants. It's not about what just any legislator or lobbyist that's been influenced. It's not about that. Okay. It should be about what we, the people, want. Okay. Like I said, that's my rant for the day. I hope you learned something. I know they don't teach these things in school anymore. Uh, I hope someone got a refresher on what they're supposed to be doing, not what they are doing. We're dysfunctional, we're broken. It needs to be fixed. So I encourage you to reach out to your legislator, your members from your state, and tell them, hey, what about us? We know you got the lobbyists on lock, the gun lobbyists. We know you got their back, but what about us? What about us? What about the people that are dying in the streets that have a say-so over what you should be doing in the office that you hold, that we put you in? Okay, what about us? Good way to end that on today. If you're interested in doing a show here on Street News Now, I want you to reach out to streetnewsnow.com, fill out a form, and you'll have an opportunity from one of our administrators to get back in touch with you and help you put your show together. So whatever it is that you would like to talk about, if you'd like to be a reporter and report information back to the station, we have the ability to be able to do it here on this network. So please reach out to someone. Send in your application and your information, and we will be more than happy to help you get your show up and going. Okay? So please subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, like, and share. Spread it around. Put it on all of your social media posts. Let folks know what's going on over here. This was a good lesson to spread around. You know, like, hey, if you didn't get this in school, we got a place for you to be able to get it. So right here is a good place to send this message out to all the people that don't know what our government is supposed to be doing. Okay, and these folks are doing things that they ain't even supposed to be doing, but they're doing it anyway. And guess what? We're allowing them to get away with it. So that's it for today. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please keep us in your prayers. Keep us lifted up. This kind of information will cause folks to try to seek me out. So I'm going into hiding real soon, so they ain't gonna know where my address is at. But I love you guys. You guys stay encouraged, stay blessed. Look forward to see you guys the next time.